Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. It's Motzei Shabbat after Shabbat here in Jerusalem. It's snowing in Jerusalem, so I hope to wake up tomorrow to a white Jerusalem. We'll be back in, for me, 12 hours, but for you, only 22 seconds, so stay tuned. It's really cold out here. As you can see, it snowed last night, so the city of Jerusalem is all white. We're going to take a short tour through the city of Jerusalem. Before we take this tour, I just wanted to say that some of you, of our viewers overseas, might say, what are they getting so excited about? It's just a few flakes of snow. Well, that's Israel for you. We get excited from a few flakes of snow. Let's go on our tour.
Instead of us going to Mount Hermon, the Hermon came to Jerusalem.
We're from Petach Tikva and Ramat Gan. At 2 o'clock, we'll go back to school. We came to see snow.
It's our first time to see the snow, so we're very happy to see the snow here in Israel. So we're all very glad.
If you live in Jerusalem, you know the drill. Every time it snows, we get together to build a snowman.
With me now is one of the Jerusalemite snowmen. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
So what's your feeling today? Tell us a bit about your feelings here in Jerusalem in the white city.
Well, I feel very uplifted because my carrot nose and cucumber eyes are made from Israeli vegetables.
Thank you very much. We're ending this report near the Western Wall. The truth is that the snow is almost all melted and we're kind of disappointed. As the snow came so quickly, it's also leaving us very quickly, but we hope for more snow later on in this winter. We'll be back in the studio right after this.
You are watching Israel National News TV.
What does the Western Wall mean to you?
It symbolizes the holiest place of Judaism, and it's where all the Jews go whenever they want to pray, the closest place they can be to God, and it symbolizes everything that Judaism is. This is where the Temple Mount is, where it used to be, so it symbolizes a lot of holiness and spirituality.
Welcome back. Before we continue, I'm offering everyone the opportunity to be part of the Israeli Salad production. We want to see you on our program. We want to hear what you have to say about the land and people of Israel and about topics presented on our programs. So send us an MP3 audio file with your photo by email. Speak briefly so we can insert your audio segments uncut. Gabi Newman visited an exhibit of photographs from 1920s Tel Aviv at the Arutz Sheva Museum. The photos were taken by an amateur photographer, and that's exactly the reason why this collection is such a unique documentation of the history of Tel Aviv.
These pictures are so human. They're not posed. Most of them, a lot of them, are not posed for pictures. They're people engaged in a natural kind of activity, and most of them aren't famous people or people that we ever heard of. They're just Tel Avivians in the 1920s doing what Tel Avivians did.
nostalgia, a life that I think is gone. When I look at the masses of people, they seem to be more orderly than we are today, seem to be more cultured than we are today. It's just a picture, and one picture says 1,000 words or something like that. There's an expression.
Shimon Korman was an unknown amateur photographer in the city of Tel Aviv of the 1920s. The collection he left includes over 1,500 pictures which document Tel Aviv of the 1920s and the 1930s from a very unique point of view. Only after he died in 1978, not leaving behind any relative, these pictures were revealed by chance in his modest flat.
אנחנו רואים כאן אחד מתוך מספר צילומים שצילם קורמן.
One of the main issues is the services which provide a modern city. For example, the barber in Tel Aviv. A man came to a barber at least twice a week, not just for a haircut, but to shave. We can see a typical barber in a very homely atmosphere, mainly by the carpet. We know that the period is 1923 because we still have the oil lamp and not an electric one. Or, for example, Anton the barber, who was a very famous barber in Herzl Street in Tel Aviv during those years. The old residents definitely enjoyed his services and remember him kindly.
Batya Carmel, an expert on the documentation of Tel Aviv, came across the unique treasure Korman left through his last living friend.
וכשאני עברתי על האוסף, הבנתי שהאוסף הזה הוא אוסף שיש לו חשיבות היסטורית רבה ביותר.
When I went over the collection, I understood that it has a significant historical value. The aim was to show its unique importance compared to professional photographers in order to recognize the life of Tel Aviv from different aspects in a very critical period of the city's life, from a neighborhood to a city. Through Korman's pictures, you could really learn about the significance of Tel Aviv as a financial and cultural center in those years. The main thing about Korman is his focus on the human side, not the physical side of the town.
I understand this picture impressed you more than all. Why?
Why, just seeing Keren Kayemet that it is today, going through the streets in a parade, as it was then, it was just sort of magical that it existed, that as a child in Canada, not at 1926, but we went around with our little pushket collecting money for Keren Kayemet, and here I see that they really were working with trees in 1926. It just was very nice to see them doing that.
He filmed many things that a professional photographer didn't get to, like leisure time. Korman was actually mad about sport, and one can study a lot about football in Tel Aviv during those years. But it doesn't just focus on the group, but on all of the game from the beginning, the policemen making order, the men and women arriving to the game. Through his camera you saw the events from the beginning until its end, and that's one of the biggest advantages of Korman. Korman, in the visit of Balfour, didn't just show the speeches and official events, but also what came before. He filmed the decorations and special policemen who came to make order. This group in this directed picture is of a special policeman brought to bring order. He directed them and placed them in height order. We have an important historical picture which also shows the humorous touch so typical of Korman.
Korman was a single lonely man who made his living as an English teacher. He had a lot of free time for his photography. Dalia Glicksman, a visitor, found in the exhibition a few pictures of her grandfather, pictures she has never seen before.
Unbelievable, I just came to look around and then I found my grandfather here. He was one of the famous people in Tel Aviv, in all Tel Aviv.
When Professor Einstein came to Israel and Tel Aviv for a visit, Korman has a unique picture of him. Whilst everyone filmed him at the city council, Korman caught him in a tour out of Tel Aviv, where they were building the first electricity station in Israel. Korman stood on a high building opposite this group to film them.
Some of the buildings Korman documented during construction still exist in Tel Aviv, like the Platin Hotel built in 1926 in Nachalat Binyamin Street, corner Echad Ha'am, and the Great Synagogue in Allenby Street built in the same year. But many of these buildings no longer exist.
He shows a lot, he portrays a lot, a life, a sadness for having lost some of these beautiful buildings that I see that are in the pictures. It's some of the things that are not here, and he's captured it. So they're here forever because he's captured it.
What do Steinmatsky bookstores Toys R Us, Burger King, and Pital Hotels have in common? Well, these businesses and others are all taking part in a special campaign for the benefit of children with cancer. This campaign teaches us that even a small gesture, when made by many, can be a great help to people in need. If you come to one of the branches of the 30 businesses that are participating in the Shekel Larger Than Life campaign, you will be asked at the cashier to add just a little bit of money to your bill.
Would you like to donate 1 shekel or more for children that sick in cancer?
The customers are asked for only 1 shekel, the equivalent of around $0.25 in US dollars. But when a big business like Burger King is collecting the money in its 41 branches throughout the country, the effect can be great.
1 shekel with another 1 shekel, get larger. And among this contribution in 1 week, we have collected around more than $10,000 for Gdolim HaChaim, which is an organization that's taking care of children with cancer.
The Shekel campaign is organized by Gdolim HaChaim, the Larger Than Life organization. The members and board of directors of Larger Than Life are all parents of children with cancer. The organization tries to improve the lives of these children by taking them to Disney World, organizing camps, and by filling their lives with other varied and wonderful activities and entertainment. The customers at the Burger King franchise in Ramat Aviv showed no displeasure at the request for another shekel. In addition to enjoying their lunch, they have the opportunity to help and donate to a very worthy cause.
If you hear a cancer about children, you obviously would like to donate for them.
I think it's great. It's a great way to raise money. In all our 41 restaurants all over Israel, people are happy to contribute. We were amazed to see that our restaurants that leading this contribution are in the army bases.
The campaign is being promoted on Israeli television, radio, and newspapers. On TV, Shekel Larger Than Life is promoted using this powerful commercial. One interesting concept about Shabbat is the idea of rest. Resting is actually one of the obligations on Shabbat. Rabbi Samson joins us from Jerusalem. Shalom, Rabbi Samson.
Shalom, Yoni.
What's the meaning of this concept? Why command us to rest?
Yoni, it's a very good question, and it's something that is even funny to be commanded to rest. The truth is that a person gets caught up in day-to-day life to such an extent where you can see some people are rushing right after Shabbat to go back to the weekend. Not only smokers, but even non-smokers are rushing to get back to their day-to-day affairs. And it's such a difficult gift, because a person who is successful in doing it is able to remove himself from all of his day-to-day worries. And the essence of Shabbat is not only resting in body, but it's supposed to be a resting of soul. A person's supposed to see himself as if everything that he wants to do is already done, and that everything is complete.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
That's all for this week. Join us again next week for another edition of Israeli Salad. Until then, Shabbat Shalom and Shavua Tov, and keep those emails coming. I think he's giving me the cold shoulder. We'll try to interview some of these kids.